You're welcome to our sports show, and we're going to be giving the analysis of the FIFA Women's World Cup and the transfers. So we're going to also be talking about the matches that were held yesterday, South Africa and China, and Australia, Brazil. And I have my colleagues in the studio, Ferdinand and Solomon. So
You're welcome. You're welcome very well. Okay, so yesterday's match, China versus South Africa, and South Africa lost 1-0.
Yeah.
So,
And yesterday, the game that happened between Brazil and Australia, it was a shocker that Australia beat Brazil.
that was my most favorite game.
3-2.
I was in love with that game. As in, I thought Brazil were going to come and do another one and win another match again.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that was going to
I was really impressed with the way Australia played. They tried for me. They really tried.
It was a good response from Australia taking the game and winning the game against Brazil. And hopefully, maybe something like that can also happen when it comes to the Super Falcons playing their
Against
game
France,
against
exactly.
France.
Yeah.
Because the news is even carrying in that now the France, so one of the institutions in France is going to mount the image of the game that's going to happen between France and Nigeria. And that game is going to be taking place on Monday by 8 o'clock in the morning, in the evening. So hopefully all of us will love to watch and see what our ladies are going to do. Then another good news is that no matter what happens at the end of that game, Nigeria is still going to qualify for the next round of the game because there are four losers can still go on from 6 groups. There are 6 groups, but any third place finishers of the game, then they'll qualify.
I wouldn't really like that for Nigeria because I would want them to win France because to show how much we've improved, as in after the defeat against Norway and then winning South Africa, we have to show that yes, we are in this competition to reach at least the semi-final or reach the final or even win it. So just saying okay we'll qualify even though we lose against or even though we draw against France is not really a very good thing for me. So
I agree with you, but the thing now is that can we win France?
it is possible because if people will have said the same thing was said about can Australia beat Brazil. That's the same thing that people also say. And now you've seen that Australia they've defeated Brazil 3-2. It was a hard thing for them to do. And you can see the scoreline, they only beat Brazil by 1 goal.
Yeah.
And that shows you that Nigeria too can do it. Even though it's by 1 goal.
I want to agree with you because it's not that we don't have materials that can win France. If we have the like of Paranoze, we have the like of Asisat Oshola, who are there in the forward, we have the like of Francisca Odega, who can also do something overlapping and doing all the tricks from the right hand side, who is playing too for Nigeria. They can do it, but just that they entered into this competition with a lot of fear and respect for Norway.
Yes.
I don't see any reason why they could have lost to Norway because there are experienced players in that squad. What happened? Maybe they will improve and prove to be an underdog in the next game against France on Monday.
But I would like us to talk about this South Africa China match, most especially all the African teams in this FIFA Women's World Cup. They've not really, let's say, impressed me. Because you can see that South Africa now they've lost 2 games. They lost to China and now they also lost to Spain in their first match where they lost 2-0.
Meaning they might likely also crash out of the
World
game
Cup.
and the group stage.
And you see other teams also like Cameroon
Cameroon lost
where they
to
lost
Canada.
to Canada, and I don't even know their next match.
What
Who
is
they are
going to be
playing
like?
what's going to be like for them. But I'm just trying to be positive here and wish all the African teams best of luck because they have to try and prove that Africa as a continent is not just there to just come and spectate and just come and play only the group stage of the World Cup. We have to show that yes, we can go all the way.
I want to agree with you. Other people should see us as a team that want to come and compete, not a walkover. Because once they see, oh, Nigeria is in this group, oh, Cameroon is in this group, they have the confidence that oh, we are going to beat Cameroon, we are going to beat Nigeria. it shouldn't be like that all the time.
Exactly.
They should look at, Nigeria is a country that they really have to prepare for if they really want to win the game. And also, we'll look at the countdown of the AFCON that is coming. In 7 days' time, AFCON will be starting.
Okay.
And Nigeria has been paired with the like of countries like Burundi, like Madagascar, and Guinea.
I think our AFCON group it might look simple, but I would say that the Nigerian team shouldn't give much hope to themselves that or to be complacent in the way they take on that group, because for me, things like that can cost them in the end, and they might not reach the point where they want to in the AFCON stage.
Right.
So I'll prefer them to put all their work into it. The likes of Iwobi, Iheanacho was dropped by the coach. He's not going for the AFCON competition, and Igalo, Iwobi, stars like Mikel, Ndidi that are going for the AFCON Cup. They have to show that yes, we are experienced, we played in this competition before. We have to show and give our best for Nigeria as our country. So I want them to at least win the AFCON competition.
Top the group at least.
Yes.
Make sure that you are on top of the group, going ahead and doing something very beautiful that will impress the whole of the world, not just the nation itself. And I also have an advice for the like of Etebo in the midfield there, that he should share more of the ball when he has it. He loves going on with the ball until someone will come and fall him. But I think when he gets the game, he should prove to be more of sharing the ball for people to play, not just holding on to the ball. He should follow the footsteps of the like of Mikel, who gets the ball, make 1 or 2 dribbles and share the ball.
Exactly.
I have the same view about that. You see, this is a team that has those likes of players, and they will need to put a lot of effort, and they will not be players that will be keeping the ball for too long. You need to dispense the ball so it will go round. So having a squad like that, I feel that we might be able to go far in the AFCON.
I want to agree with you, and the news is having it that Igalo has resumed full training.
Yes.
And is throwing away the fact that he has been on goal drought for a while. He doesn't want to really bother himself with that. It happened to him in the time past when he came to Nigeria preparing for World Cup. He played several games and he didn't get any goal. But when he got to the game, after some time, he did really well. Even when he got to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Another thing is that the fixtures for Premier League has been released, and you want to talk to us about that. So if we are using Sporting Life here, and we want to talk about the Premier League games that will be happening in August.
So we have the one on Friday. Then Liverpool will be taking on Norwich City. That will be the first game. And then we'll have the second one on Saturday, August 10th. And we'll be having West Ham, Man City, Bournemouth, Sheffield United. Yes. And we have Burnley, Southampton, Crystal Palace, Everton, Leicester, Wolves, Watford, Brighton, Tottenham, Aston Villa. And then we have the following day, on Sunday, August 11th, we have Newcastle, Arsenal, and Manchester United. Chelsea.
I really want to talk about the first game of the season.
Yeah.
That is Liverpool Norwich. I see. I don't know if I should call that game a cheat for me. A game, a team that won Champions League, then is facing a team that is just coming from relegation.
For me, it doesn't really matter, because yes, it seems like a game that would be unfair to Norwich City because they just recently came up. But you have to look at it that they are coming to the Premier League. You have to show yourself. You have to show that, okay, I'm coming to the Premier League, I have to perform. Like now, Man United signing the Daniel James youngster from Swansea City. You have to see that as he's coming to Manchester United, he has to come and perform. So just the same way, Norwich City coming to the Premier League, they have to come and perform. They have to show us, okay, we can play against the big boys.
Okay, now this is my point. Look, these guys will definitely have the fear that we are meeting a team that is this good, that has Mane, Salah, Firmino,
Fabinho,
good players there,
yeah.
and they just won Champions League. we are just coming. Look at this team that was promoted to Premier League last season. They came to Premier League as the best team that has the best defense from Championship. But they came to Premier League recording the worst defensive game in the Premier League. And now Norwich is just coming from relegation back to Premier League, facing Champions League winner. I just hope that is not going to demoralize their ability in the Premier League, losing their first game in Premier League.
Yeah, it could demoralize them though if they lose the game, most especially. But I would say that they should see it as a kind of boost. Helping, a kind of boost to be able to help them in the rest of the season. If they can be able to at least face Liverpool, maybe even though they lose at least 1-0, or if they can get a draw from that match to show that yes, they really put in a lot of work, and they should keep on putting that amount of work to be able to meet and play against the big boys. Maybe they're meeting Liverpool, I wouldn't say that will be their biggest challenge, because they see how Man City to also meet in the Premier League. But it's also a very big challenge for them. So I'll say that good luck to them, and I'll say that they have to put in a lot of work. They have to really show how good they are coming from the Championship.
Well, I feel that meeting Liverpool as a first, it's going to help them open their mind, make them feel much more energetic, and so it will help them to release the fear from them, like meeting, because they are still going to meet clubs, like Man City and
Chelsea
and Manchester, so it's
like Wolves.
Yes, you see, so it's going to be a very good one for them if they are able to at least get a draw or a win.
I think I coined from what you just said. They shouldn't just bother thinking they can win that game. They should just go for either draw or minimal lose in the game. Then also I'll also say something about the Manchester United Chelsea that will be opening game on Sunday. That is a cracker that everybody would love to watch, because the rivalry continues.
I think those people are not fair to Manchester United at all, because you can't just give us Chelsea at the beginning of the season.
What do you mean?
No. But Chelsea have lost. They've lost Hazard. Okay, but that's not actually a determining factor. You have to look at it that Chelsea losing Hazard now, they are going to try and put all their effort into finding a way that they can work without him. And I see that before this preseason that's coming up now, they are going to use it as a building block. They're going to find a way to be able to build a team that doesn't require the tenacity and the charisma of Hazard. So I would say that Manchester United are in for a very big fight.
No, but actually, I think Manchester United will be. I feel that they will be very good this season. having the likes of
James that
they're just
signed.
And it's looking at last season, we were not really playing our best at the last few matches we were getting. I feel that this season we might do a lot of good work and with the players we have.
I even think United don't have anything to lose.
Yes.
We don't have anything to lose, because it is Chelsea who played third place last season. So the pressure is supposed to be more on Chelsea, not on Man U. Man U they might be fighting for coming back to Champions League, but then if they just play the game as if they have nothing to lose, they will definitely edge Chelsea out of the game, because now they don't have the fear of Hazard anymore. Whoever is going to be replacing Hazard is going to be playing for this is the first time in the game and not getting used to the terrain of Premier League and so on like that. So I want to give a good tip to Man U likely going to win the game. Joe, don't think I'm a fan of Man U.
Okay, that will be all for now. Thank you so much.
Please always visit our channel where football is everything.
Please subscribe.